At the beginning of this series, while mining, we discovered a zombie spawner beneath our island. And off camera, I've set it up as a little nice XP farm. The only issue I've come across is we have way too much rotten flesh now. So to solve that issue, today we'll be setting up our empty room as a coffee shop and getting a cleric villager. So if you enjoy this episode, please do consider subscribing. I really enjoy putting together this series. To start with, we need to gather a few more resources. After the last few builds, our supplies are running a little low in a few blocks. So we gather some wood, as well as a little more stone and other resources. For this cafe, I have a nice vision of a place that people can come and hang out and enjoy themselves, with a large window along the side, letting in lots of light and allowing the barista to see the people sat outside. We can also use this building as an end building, adding a walkway between it and the next set of buildings over time. But to start with, we work on a simple floor and ceiling, clearing out the dirt and replacing it with different wood types, working in some oak and dark oak to make a nice pattern in the floor, including some end pieces to again feel like knots in the wood. Stripping it back as the bark on the wood felt like it was just too busy for me. Moving on to the ceiling, I think we should go with a very simple ceiling. We'll add in some dark oak pillars in the middle, stripping some of them at random. And on either side, let's add in some slabs to add in a bit of height difference along the ceiling. Of course, we need to make sure we light up the top part, even if we're not going to use it, as we still don't want any mobs to spawn. Now, what is a coffee shop without a coffee bar? And for this coffee bar, I think we'll work in the similar blocks to our other shop, starting in with adding in some leaves for some greenery into the room, and moving on to the bar itself, using granite with stairs and slabs of both normal and polished. Adding in a dark oak pressure plate as a tray, with a few barrels on the side and an empty flower pot or two as an empty coffee mug. Then, working onto the other wall in the room, we'll add another granite table setup. This time we want to add in some paintings above it, making sure we set up some stone around the paintings as we only want the smaller paintings. These, as well as a flower or two, should really bring in some more colour to the room. As I mentioned at the beginning, my vision for this place is a light and spacious cafe. So let's work on getting some light in this place, taking out the space for a larger 2x3 window in the front. Of course, we want to add in another door so there is a place for people to get in and out a bit easier. We're going to use a light grey and grey glass panes to fill in this window, and we'll of course do our usual window decoration of warped trapdoors and gates along the top. Now that we know how the build is going to look, we can revisit the roof we created for it in the last episode. I think adding a simple ledge to the roof with some mangrove blocks will look great here. Adding in normal blocks as well as slabs and trapdoors to give a bit of height to the ledge, as well as adding in a couple more deep slate blocks behind it to bring down the roof itself to meet the edge of the mangrove. Since we've decided that this build will be the end of one block of buildings, we can add a path running through this space, expanding the waterfront path backwards into what will be the center of the village over time, clearing out some of this dirt for the section of the path we will be building today, and then replacing the dirt with our path blocks, which are andesite, stone, stone brick, and mossy stone brick. Doing our best to try and add some variation in the block placement while trying to avoid any patterns showing up. In keeping with the riverside of the path, we'll add a small lantern design, working with an andesite wall and a few dark oak fences, topped with a slab, a couple of trapdoors, and a few soul lanterns. And finally, we go back around and add in some glow lichen to the path to help with an aged feel. Now that the groundwork has been laid, it is time to add some seating for this cafe. We want to make this place feel cozy and welcoming. So we will add a selection of comfy looking chairs and tables outside. These will be nice, simple, dark oak stairs with fences and pressure plates as little tables. Adding a combination of a couple of single tables and a few with a couple of seats for variety on the outside. Then, to give this space a little bit of privacy, we add in some leaves and fences, setting up a little barrier between the chairs and the street itself. All in all, I think this place has come together really nice, and the details are looking lovely. Now that all the detailing is done, well, the only thing left to do is get a cleric villager. And I have arranged an interview with a possible candidate today. But they do seem to be running late.